Namaskar viewers, hello and welcome to Sansad TV. I'm Tina Jha, you're watching Perspective. 5th of August 2025 marks 6 years since the abrogation of Article 370, a landmark move that fully integrated Jammu and Kashmir with the rest of India. On this day in 2019, the government revoked the special constitutional status of the erstwhile state and bifurcated it into two union territories, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. In the years since, the region has witnessed a series of transformative developments, from a surge in infrastructure and private investment, peaceful conduct of elections with record voter turnout, a significant rise in tourism, and a notable shift in the security landscape. What was once known as a conflict zone is now being described by many as a confidence zone. So as we reflect on this historic decision and its far-reaching impact, it's time also to revisit how the last 6 years have shaped a new era of governance, socio-economic growth, and national integration in this region. To talk about some of these crucial changes and also understand the road ahead, I'm joined by two distinguished guests. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome in the studio today Dr. K. Lakshman, Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha, and Mr. Yashraj Bundela, Advocate on Record, Supreme Court of India. He's also the author of Integration of Bharat. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the program today on Sansad TV. Dr. Lakshman, allow me to begin the conversation today with you. And first, to set the context in terms of the kind of transformation that has happened over the last 6 years, what, in your view, have been some of the most visible markers of the change that we are talking about in Jammu and Kashmir?
At the outset, Tina ji, I would like to congratulate and compliment for taking up this historical 5th August being a historical day. Right. Today in the morning also, our beloved Prime Minister emphasized that 5th August can be written in golden letters in the Indian history. First, for 5th August being the abrogation of Article 370 in the year 2019. Again, the 5th August 2020, it was Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji who has laid foundation stone for this Ayodhya Ram Temple. So on this auspicious day, you have taken up this agenda and the topic on this particularly transformation of after post 370 article. In fact, I was witness in the last 1 month. Long back I had been to Jammu Kashmir when the program launched by our party under the leadership of Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi, that Ekta Yatra. At that time, Narendra Modi ji was the convener for that program. So we had to take part in that program, but unfortunately I could not able to reach to Srinagar because of that circumstances, and the government at that then government did not allow, or this the objective of Ekta Yatra is to hoist national flag in that Lal Chowk, which was not being done for the last few decades in that area. So recently, when I had been to Srinagar, I could see change in the development. Infrastructure, roads, flyovers, and many AIIMS, IITs have been come up. And the engineering marvel, the world's tallest rail bridge has been constructed on the river Chenab. It is taller than that Eiffel Tower. Absolutely. Really, we feel proud. And the tourism, which has increased almost more than 2 crores 25 lakhs in a year, it is touched. The stone pelting has gone. Colleges started running, schools started running, people started going to offices. And people got opportunities to get employment. When we are there in hotel as part of the standing committee, MPs belonging to all parties, they were also surprised and shocked to see. Some of them seen Dal Lake some decades back. Now, the Dal Lake has become a beautiful lake. The drainage pipelines were earlier connected and thrown into that lake. Now, it has been totally cleaned up and has become a tourist spot now. Now, entire Srinagar we see, the youth are now being brought, entire the Srinagar community is being brought into the mainstream.
Yeah.
No more this terrorist activities, extremism has gone, and people also now feel that we are part of now India, Indian constitution, and now socio-economic point of view also, first time in the history, Indian history, the OBCs, SCs, STs, women have got, now they are in inclusive governance. Now they are being given a chance in local body elections. The people you have seen in the recent local body elections, parliament election, the turnout, which shows how Jammu Kashmir people are now being brought under the mainstream of Indian constitution. But unfortunately, the recent incident which took place, because Pakistan was sore on the development which took place in Jammu Kashmir, and people are now being brought into the mainstream. It is part of now Indian constitution, that unwanted incident which took place in Pahalgam might have disturbed, but entire not only country and even Jammu Kashmir, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, they were all stood one behind our India and Prime Minister Modi ji, and they have taught a lesson to the Pakistans who were feeling that there is going to be a division after that terror attack or the killing of that innocent tourist. But unfortunately, entire country stood one, and particularly in Srinagar, first time we have witnessed after 3 decades, people stood for country. Earlier they used to have hartals, dharnas, bandhs in support of Pakistan, in support of terror activities or something like that. But first time against Pakistan, against terrorists, they have voluntarily, spontaneously called for bandh, and they have participated in the strikes. This is a situation. Not only that, the industrial development also, 28,400 crores have been allocated for Jammu Kashmir industrial as part of industrial policy. Now huge industries are also coming up. Now even the Chenab river, we have seen a center has been created to as a the technology which they have used, what was surprising, and even the people of Kashmir also shown their best in this construction of this railway bridge.
Right.
So
as that transformation journey continues, we will talk about different aspects of change that has happened in terms of socio-economic impact, in terms of infrastructural development. But Mr. Bundela, let me get in your thoughts, because you've also written a book called Integration of Bharat, and the main objective of abrogation of 370, removal of 35A, was to integrate the population, integrate Jammu and Kashmir with the rest of India. In the last 6 years, consistent efforts have been made through different policies, through different measures to integrate Jammu and Kashmir with the rest of the country. How much progress do you see on that front?
Certainly. I think this day, 5th August, is not only a significant day for the state of Jammu and Kashmir, but a day to be rejoiced by the entire country, because it is this day on which the journey of integration, especially we can say that the constitutional integration journey, has achieved a significant milestone. Because in this journey, one of the greatest impediment was Article 370 and 35A, which was associated with that, and we can say an offspring of Article 370. Originally, when this Article 370 was introduced in the Constitution, its objective was totally different. Its objective was basically taking into consideration then existing circumstances in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, the prevailing war situation, and non-existence of the Praja Sabha in Jammu and Kashmir, and taking into view various other factors. The integration process with which the other princely states were progressing, there were slightly different scenario in Jammu and Kashmir. Therefore, the Gopal Swami Iyengar in the Constituent Assembly explained all the factors why this Article 370 was being introduced. The objective was to implement or to enforce the provisions of the Constitution of India. So basically, this was a provision that was inherently introduced for the purpose of the progressing the steps towards constitutional integration. But 1952 onwards, we see when there is change in the political scenario, certain leaders started exploiting that situation. And we see a consistent misuse of Article 370, which was very much used by the people with separatist tendencies and the forces across the country. They very much use this provision. And within the country, if we say after coming into the existence of the Constitution, the rights of the people is one thing which is very significant. And because of the existence of 370, we had seen, as Dr. Lakshman has also pointed it out, that the rights available to the various classes like women, children's, OBCs, West Pakistan refugees, STs, SCs, they were all deprived of the constitutional rights that are available otherwise to any citizens of the country. So if we see in the constitutional perspective, it is one very significant milestone that was achieved on 5th of August. And therefore, after 25th of November 1949, when the state of Jammu and Kashmir adopted the Constitution of India for the state of Jammu and Kashmir, this is the second most significant day when the state of Jammu and Kashmir is standing parallelly as strong, as constitutionally integrated as any other state or union territory of the country.
Absolutely, and that's why 6 years later, Dr. Lakshman, when we look at the transformation, the change that has happened on ground, it's unprecedented, both the speed and the scale of the transformation that has happened in the last 6 years. And that's why many are describing it as a change from conflict zone to confidence zone.
Yeah.
In that aspect, I would like to ask you, how much confidence have we been able to generate in the youngsters, the youth particularly of Jammu and Kashmir? Are we meeting their aspirations in terms of education, employment, entrepreneurship opportunities?
Tina ji, before coming to this post 370 abrogation, I would like to go back to the history, because I being from Hyderabad, now Telangana, erstwhile Nizam rule. When the independence took place on 15th August 1947, the three princely states, it is Hyderabad and Junagadh and the third and the Jammu Kashmir, they were not merged in the Indian Union. So Sardar Patel ji, he took the initiative to merge all these three principal states into Indian Union, but the then Nehru ji, he insisted that you confine only to Hyderabad and Junagadh, I will take care of that Jammu Kashmir princely state to be merged in the Indian Union. And we know how we have been badly affected under Nizam rule, how the struggle we went to, we actually witnessed. But fortunately, but for Sardar Patel ji, that Hyderabad and Junagadh were merged into Indian Union, if not in 1957, but little later. But unfortunately, when Nehru took the charge of getting Jammu Kashmir merged into Indian Union, he compromised with Sheikh Abdullah, the reasons best known to everybody. So, by giving a special status to Jammu Kashmir, the issue started since then. It was our founder of the party, Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, the then Jansangh president. He opposed tooth and nail. And he also spoke in the parliament right in the 1952, probably 26 June, saying that this is an balkanization of Bharat and इस देश में दो विधान, दो प्रधान, दो निशान नहीं चलेगा. He went to the extent of violating the government's that identity system, passport system, and he led a satyagraha march, and finally he was taken into custody, put into jail, and we know how he lost his life. This is the history, because the present generation and the future generation should be known the past history of this, how Jammu Kashmir has been transformed right from the pre-370 article days to post-370. Because now the youth of Jammu Kashmir, as you have rightly pointed out, they are looking for their career now. We have seen many IITs and AIMS, such a beautiful institute is coming up. Now people are now, they are caring about their future and career. We have seen in Srinagar also, in some hotels, girls of 10th standards, they are also getting good salaries. So they wanted to be a part of now Indian development. They'll naturally, Srinagar being the, Jammu Kashmir being the one of the wonders of our country. So earlier they used to be totally following this partition element with partition mission. Now the entire youth, not only tourism, which has now, people see how they are getting their employment, even small travels, tour restaurants, all. But now I think Srinagar, the GDP, the growth of GDP, almost 4 times. So naturally, abrogation of 370 article, not only it's brought under the Indian systems, but now the youth also look for a bright and beautiful future there, and I am confident under the leadership of Modi ji and the present systems, they will be definitely carriers of this development.
Absolutely, and we've heard the Prime Minister often say that ये नया कश्मीर है, जैसे नया हिंदुस्तान है, नए हिंदुस्तान का नया कश्मीर है. In that aspect, Mr. Bundela, how do you see the people of Jammu and Kashmir responding to this new journey of development? How confident are they in being part of this journey of development?
See, in Jammu and Kashmir, if we look into the scenario that was prevailing before 2019, there was a very specific class that was having the full control over the resources of the entire state. And in the name of this so-called special status, there was no, constitutionally speaking, there was no as such a special status. It was only a temporary status, temporary provision in the form of Article 370. So the so-called the status, in the name of that, they were running their entire industry of exploiting people, of not allowing the developmental programs to proceed or to reach to the common people, to the villages, to the door to door of the people who are in dire needs. And that section of society which remained deprived of all these things, you will be surprised to know that lakhs of people, despite living in the state of Jammu and Kashmir for past 70 years, were still not considered the resident of Jammu and Kashmir, and therefore they were deprived of all their constitutional rights. Can we imagine a scenario after these 70 years of the constitution coming into existence? And even amongst the classes that were having the status of being permanent resident in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, but if they did not belong to that particular class, they were not allowed to participate in the elections. They were not allowed to have any sort of participation in the administrative services. So a very selective arrangement was prevailing in the state of Jammu and Kashmir.
But Dr. Lakshman, so over the last 6 years, because we are talking about so many consistent efforts being undertaken by the central government, have we been able to demolish that fort of false propaganda, false narrative that persisted in the minds of people. And I ask you this because in the early years of my career, I happened to work with a group of Kashmiri people, and the first question they asked was, "Are you Indian?" And my response was, "Aren't you?" And they said, "No, we are Kashmiris." From then to now, to winning the confidence of the people of that region, making them part of this journey that India is on towards becoming a Viksit Bharat, how much have we been able to succeed?
Tina ji, you have seen after the tragic incident of Pahalgam, how the people of Jammu and Kashmir stood with Bharat, India. When after the incident, when I visited for second time on a different aspect, the local people questioned me. They asked me, why did not we finish that Pakistan? The local Muslim youth and Muslim security which they have been provided to us and the drivers and almost, they were questioning me, why did we stop, why not we finish Pakistan and why not we take up that POK? That is the sea change we have seen. Earlier, as rightly pointed out by Mundal, people were aligning towards Pakistan, and as you said, they have never been called as Indians. They used to feel that we are a separate a country, a separate state, or aligned to Pakistan, something like that. Now they want to live with India, they want to be a part of India, and they want to contribute for the overall growth of the India and even Jammu Kashmir. And they are so confident that that Prime Minister's dream of making India as Viksit Bharat 2047, Jammu Kashmir is going to be part of it, and Jammu Kashmir is going to contribute their might. And they are so, now they feel that they are also part of governance. Earlier, they used to feel that entire Jammu Kashmir belongs to only two families, either Abdullah family or Mufti Muhammad Said family. Now they feel that they are part and parcel of a governance, because now after this abrogation, people have now getting elected at local levels. The participation in the elections.
Absolutely, and the numbers
reflect how
nearly
confident they are on
68%
democracy.
turnout in assembly elections.
Earlier, they used to be aligned only with separatist, extremist organizations.
Absolutely.
Now they feel that through democratic setup only, democratic pattern only, we can develop our own state and we can be part of that development.
Clearly,
people have that
we've
confidence.
seen peaceful elections, free and fair elections, record voter turnout both in assembly elections, also in Lok Sabha elections, which perhaps saw the highest turnout in the last 35 years in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. So persistent efforts have borne fruit. They've shown the sea change that you spoke about in terms of the attitude, the behavioral change among the people. They now belong to India. But what's next for now for Jammu and Kashmir? Of course, as 5th August approaches, we hear there is a lot of clamour on restoration of statehood. The matter is also in court. The centre has committed that it will happen at the right time. When is the right time is something that, since you are from the BJP, I would like to ask you. Given what happened at Pahalgam, it saw a little bit of fear among the tourists. The tourism numbers dipped after the Pahalgam incident. Also in terms of the security threats, the involvement of Pakistanis. The question is, how feasible is the demand of statehood given the security landscape currently?
Of course, that is the demand of the local public, the statehood, and even the government also assured to provide the statehood to Jammu and Kashmir. But it needs some time, because the law and order, which is under the direct control of now Union Home Ministry, and fortunately even today we see our Home Minister Amit Shah ji is supposed to be the longest ever Union Home Minister in the country. So unless until we are confident enough that local governance do not politicize, or that local leadership do not yield to any pressures, because it will lead to naturally anarchy when the things are being taught at local level. They have their own politics at local level. They cannot have a stringent or action or stringent decisions which they can. Now, time alone will decide, but we are for statehood, and the government also, when the right time is there, they will take a proper decision for the statehood of Jammu Kashmir. It is a natural demand of the people. It is justifiable demand. Definitely, government is also will take a decision at the right time. Still, when the things go all well.
Okay, let's wait for the right time. I'll take one last word from you, Mr. Bundela. What we've seen over the last 6 years is, and especially after Article 370, the manner in which development projects have been expedited in Jammu and Kashmir, and so much development has taken place. But the fact remains that Kashmir has huge potential. Towards realizing the maximum potential that this region has, what should be our priorities for the next 5 years or so?
See, first of all, the most significant thing is the security arrangements. So, the security aspect is one very significant aspect. Besides that, the consistent effort towards the participation of the people of the Jammu and Kashmir in the overall progress of the state. That overall participation include in the industrial setup, in the educational institutional development, in the development of various kind of like mining sectors. Jammu and Kashmir has got huge potential. Tourism is one aspect for which Jammu and Kashmir has always been known, but there are still several areas which are still unexplored. So, in those areas, the Jammu and Kashmir has got huge potential, and certainly the government, I hope, will take into consideration that how those areas which are yet unexplored for the people of the nation and which can provide potential for the well-being of the local people. So, I hope, and with the legal transformation, so it provides people with all the necessary legal assessment so that they cannot be deprived in legal procedure of certain things to set up industry or to set up educational institution. So, I think within next 10 years we will see the entire transformed Jammu and Kashmir from these past 70 years that we have seen a very catastrophic scenario. We certainly see a very good future for the state of Jammu and Kashmir.
Absolutely. The journey has just begun. We've seen immense transformation over the last 6 years, but this has to be sustained, and if this continues, we'll see this confidence zone contributing majorly in India's Viksit Bharat vision. So with that, we'll have to wrap up the conversation. Time allows me to take up only that much in this edition of Perspective. Thank you once again, Dr. Lakshman, Mr. Bundela, for joining us with your thoughts and insights. And to you viewers, thank you very much for your time as well.
To watch more programs of Sansad TV, subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share them.